pull up in and punch him in the mouth. He just say fucking swollen.
Welcome to another Three Aficionados. We're here to talk about all things analog, cars, watches, whatever. And we're here with Peter, who's obviously already cracked his own beer. With that, let's pop it off since somebody prematurely popped.
I got my second here to pop off.
Oh boy, it's a party time with Petey. Petey's been drinking upstairs. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so premature that his second one Oh, fuck's sakes.
Yeah. That was me last time.
You take the reins, Daniel. I'm going to try not to have my computer completely die here.
Yeah, well, I've done that twice in a row. I'm avoiding that now.
For fuck's sakes, it's everywhere.
That's what she said, right? Shouldn't have gone there. That's what he said. Could be, whatever.
I had a little spillage.
You never know who's saying it.
No, it's that's what anyone said.
They all said it.
I gotta get a big box of Kleenex here. Sorry.
All right. So while you're wiping yourself off there and cleaning yourself up,
I gotta get it out of my belly button.
Tell us about what you're drinking and slurping off the floor.
You talk. I'm fucking trying to salvage all my technology here.
Better when you struggle.
I am drinking Innocent Gun off of the floor here.
Beautiful.
With so much head.
Little do people know it's also an excellent wood refinisher.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It smells so piney.
I've got a Guinness again back in my horn. I just wanted to do it again to prove to you all that it wasn't just a one-time thing. I really am a Viking.
That's what we like to see.
And he most definitely did not wash it in between.
That's not true. You got to treat these things. You got to take care of your horn. You got to clean your horn. Otherwise, your horn's no fun.
Get stanky.
You get a stanky horn if you don't take care of it. What's going on with you, Pete? Petey Pablo?
I'm having my second raspberry of the night. I decided to pop one off early just to have a little pre-beverage and thought I would save my second for the podcast here. So.
Oh, you were lying off camera a minute ago. Oh, yeah, sorry. You were late because you were pounding a beer right before our meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just lost track of time there, chugging that beer.
This is an eye-opener moment here, Peter.
Cheers.
This is an indication that we might need to have an intervention about your raspberries.
Yeah, my pre-gaming is unacceptable.
We accept you for the beautiful young man you are.
Well, I appreciate that, gentlemen. And cheers.
Well, cheers, everyone. And what's that beautiful young man wearing on his wrist?
I am wearing, it's been a while, but my blue, it's not blue dialed, but blue bezeled Seiko. I don't know what it is. I was actually going to curiously look up the reference number today before this, but I think it's maybe a variation of the 09, like the XKX, like 009. The reason I say that is because it's got, I don't know if your guys's 007 has the same bezel as this, but it has the same bezel as my other watch. So that's maybe why I thought that, but I could also be talking out the butt because they may all look the exact same, but
it looks very similar, but I can't quite tell if the bezel is matte or not matte in that image.
Yeah,
it does look similar.
It is matte.
This one, so this is weird. This bezel is very strange. It actually has like, there's like I need to actually like bring this watch in person one time so someone can see it. And the reason I actually chose it is because there's actually like a color underneath the bezel. And I think the bezel itself is maybe quartz or something like that. So if you look at it from the side, you can see it's actually like see-through, like it's just clear. But then there's the underlay where the numbers are and the color is. So it's kind of interesting. It's not actually Like the color isn't on top. It's underneath whatever this. I don't know if it's quartz or what it is, but it's kind of cool. And I saw it, and that's kind of what drew me to it. I'm like, I've never seen a watch that actually has like, I don't know if it's glass or if it's quartz or what it is, but
Is it
kind of
usually a mineral crystal?
yeah, something along the lines. I have no clue. I don't know if it's
bracelet
quartz
on that.
it's Seiko, but I do too. It's so comfortable.
Yeah, the
It looks
bracelet
so
is the
good.
best. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I haven't worn any other watch besides my my 3 watches I had in Lethbridge. So this is kind of a nice treat. I wore my G-Shock today when I was at work, and I threw this on when I got home. So
Excellent choices.
That's his drinking watch.
exactly, the drinking watch.
And what's the Hornin watch over there, Daniel?
Oh, I'm rocking my BMW chronograph. My beautiful black on black on black on black with the nice BMW roundel at 12 o'clock.
I think that's a few too many blacks, sir.
You can never go too black.
Almost
It's a watch that I've criticized in the past, but it's out of a loving kind of relationship, you know. I accept it for its flaws. There's nothing you can do about them.
just like me.
That's right. So many flaws.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And what are you about to show me the F up with? Let's
Show
see
you
what's
the F
what's
up.
on that. What's on that wrist?
This wrist.
That beautiful slender wrist.
Thank you. My beautiful slender wrists are sporting a beautiful slender 36 millimeter Datejust Wimbledon with the rhodium dial and the smooth bezeled and the green indices. This is, I actually wanted to wear just because I've been having to wear it like once a week to really gauge whether I love it or not. It's first on the chopping block. This and the 5513, I think, are the most easily discardable from the collection. Still watches I enjoy. I think it's cool, but you know, it's very sparkly and very nice, and it's very formal. But the thing is that it's getting like no wrist time, and I wonder about whether it does have a permanent place in my collection. The only other thing is to also think I was just at Jamoro, and they had like the Cartier Santos medium in steel, and it was just sitting under the glass, and I was like, that is really nice, but it's also pretty much the same price. I wish the price point was lower. It's actually gone up. I think it's about 8,500, 8,400 Canadian. So it's not light on the bill, and you know, granted,
I have a feeling it'll go up in value.
It will. I think it's a very in-demand watch right now. I mean, long term, will it? I think maybe it's very possible in the next 6 months. But at the same time, do I really love that one? It felt nice on the wrist, but I don't know. I feel like I'm between the medium and the large. I definitely wouldn't go large because the large has the date. I like that the medium has no date, and it's much cleaner, and it just comes in the one dial variation. It's very nice. I really like that the bracelet is integrated. The bracelet felt nice on the wrist. The other aspect of it is the bracelet is very advanced in its quick release, and you could put on the strap. But the thing is that it also doesn't have micro adjustment. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I am going, but I'm just saying that this would be first on my block to potentially kill off if I had to like make room for an end game. Do I really need to do that right now? Maybe not, because I just sold a car.
It's a great day.
It was so easy. Yeah, actually, I just like kind of floated the idea after having the 964 come up, and then I just contacted Kulu, the motor car dealer, and so he was able to find a buyer very quickly. So made a bit of a profit on it. Didn't lose anything on it. Got to enjoy it over the winter, which I think was the major attraction for that car. And then I get to drive a nice air cooled for the summer. So yeah, now I feel like that has been purged, and I do not feel any major pressure to get rid of this. That being said, you know, it is top of market right now, and I certainly could make room for other more exciting watches. That being said, it's just like going and visiting Ferrari and Porsche nowadays. You can't really get anything without waiting forever until, you know, supply chains die down and everything. Yeah, I think we should talk about that in a little bit. Why don't we get into the news? Let's talk a little bit about some interesting updates here, which actually does coincide with a bit of my planning. So we've got the Ferrari Puro Sangue, which sounds much more elegant when you're Italian and not so much when you have half Asian descent.
You pronounce that again for us?
Puro Sangue.
Oh yeah, nailed it.
Puro Sangue.
Oh,
I think
Dante is
Puro Sangue.
Dante is having a laugh.
It still sounds. Yeah. Anyways, we'll try to avoid too much racism comments. But yeah, it actually has the same kind of color scheme in this mock-up here as the 296 GTB, which I'm going to actually go and see unveiled next week at our local Ferrari Alberta dealer. So this is Ferrari's SUV. I think these are the leaked images, not official. But it does look pretty nice. I think this would be a prime competitor to the Lamborghini Uterus or the Bentayga. It's definitely got the Roma vibes to it, which is a good thing in my book. I think it looks way better than a Uterus.
Oh, way better.
Yeah. What do you guys
This looks
think?
incredible.
It looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think we have any details on it yet, but you know, at the same time, I'm actually able to put my name down on the list for it.
Yeah, that should happen.
It's actually might be happening. It may be.
Yeah, that's sick as heck.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. This is a Ferrari to be very excited about.
Oh yeah.
We don't need to know specs. We know it's gonna be crazy freaking fast.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy fast.
You know, we know it's a Ferrari. We know that once the Ferrari gets moving, they're just ridiculous. You know,
But can you own a car that you can't pronounce? That's the major question.
Yes.
once you own it, you got a lot of time to practice.
Can we call it just the Puterus? It's one up over the Uterus.
It's the Puterus.
Mm-hmm. I think it looks interesting. I mean, the leaked images seem promising. We'll see.
Yeah. I like that it doesn't look like a traditional SUV.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't. That's the thing. I always.
Yeah, it almost has a kind of station wagon vibes to it, but done well. It's kind of a chonk version of like the FF, I would say.
Yes, but that's not a station wagon. Let's get that word out of your vocabulary. Like,
you want to know this?
If you want to go, you go a state car at least with the European.
You know the old, and I don't know which BM. You guys are Beamer boys, so this probably be a U car. But you know the Beamer that is like an old, the old state. It reminds me so much of this car right now when I'm thinking of it.
The clown shoe.
Yeah, yeah, the clown shoe. Yeah, but like the one that's a station, the one that actually is a station wagon too. I think that would. It reminds me a lot of that.
Well, there's the M Coupe. There's the Z4 coupe as well.
They both resemble clown shoes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. The M Coupe was like the ultimate clown shoe.
That is in Plato's realm of forms. That is the clown shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hero Sangue.
But this does look
that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Puro Sangue.
Give it again, Peter. Come on.
You, Peter.
Puro Sangue.
All right. Let's really hear the music, in it.
Yeah.
Puro Sangue.
Puro Sangue.
Yes. Better.
It just sounds like pus and blood to me.
If you try not to say it and you say it with love, an Italian word will pronounce itself.
Not for
Speaking
my
with
mouth.
passion.
Not for me either.
But your little bit of medical note here, like purulent, is like pus, as in Daniel's face, looking a little pussy, that big pussy. And
What can you do?
sanguineous is, blood. So pussy blood, is that what it means? Pus blood.
That'd be some fucked up stuff. I'm glad I'm not a doctor. My brain didn't go there.
Well, that's where we're going.
I wish I was a doctor.
It'll be interesting. Maybe some more news to come in the future.
That's it.
Man, those wheels look cool. Retro, but modern at the same time.
Yeah. Most
All right.
recently, just today, we're just hearing the lifting of the journalist, I guess, the sanctions or the whatever journalism ban. They have to wait until now to release everything. So we're just getting reviews of the GT4 RS. And from what I've heard, it's even better than everyone expected. It's pretty amazing. And it sounds amazing if you've listened to the video. I like one guy's description on Top Gear that this is heroin for your ear hole. And I want this heroin all in my ear hole. But it's heroin for your ear hole if you can find a heroin dealer who has that heroin, because from what I hear, production doesn't start until July, and allocations are like not even existent because of all delays and Ukraine and everything. So, good luck to you trying to get it. Good luck to me trying to get it. I mean, I've got my name down on the list, but I was actually at the dealer, and the dealer was like, yeah, that guy's really pissed that guy, he found out that he had an allocation, but now he doesn't get it. I was like, where was my fucking allocation? I want the allocation. But apparently they got one allocation and it got pulled. So hopefully, but at the same time, worst case scenario, GT3 RS is apparently going to be end game. So, I mean, GT4 RS is super cool, especially with some of the images I've seen with the Visac package, where it's got like the same hood as the GT2 RS.
I've said it before. I'll
Looks
say it again. This is my dream car.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. And actually, I think Matt Vera said that he found it more fun than a GT3. I need to watch the full review. And I believe that. I totally believe that. I could probably say that right off the bat. That being said, manual versus PDK. But like the way this would sound, the way it would engage you, I think that this is going to be a really cool car. So I'd love to have it if I can get it.
I think there's an interesting thing where 911 fans love the driving characteristics of a more rear-mounted engine. And then there's people like myself that often gravitate towards a more mid-engine vehicle. So regardless of whether or not which vehicle may or may not be more fun, because that really does come down to an extremely subjective experience. Objectively, there's two cars that put out incredible performance that are different. And that's a good thing for Porsche fans. We don't want another 911. The 911's already perfect as it is. Take the Cayman and make it perfect. And I think that's what they've done.
I think
so. Now there's two options and not just one option.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the other thing you need to keep in mind is that this is an RS versus, GT3 we're comparing. And this is like full tilt nuts, right? And so I think you're just on a different level when you're taking the platform of the 718 versus the 911. I think that both platforms have their merit. I like mid-engine, I like rear engine, I like front engine. It's all a different experience, but I previously had that first generation 981 GT4, and it was such a cool car. So just imagining it with an RS, having owned a 991.2 GT3 RS, and then obviously the GT2 RS as well, I can only imagine that this would be so amazing, especially the way that it sounds. Apparently, the whirl experience is amazing, and that's what Daniel said.
That's what I specialize in.
That's a blowjob joke for everyone.
Amazing oral experience.
Yeah.
Hypersonic.
Good job, everyone. Let's jump to one other fantasy I have of owning that I think is probably more in the realm of possibilities. So this was just something that was interesting because I've got my deposit down for a GR Corolla whenever that ends up getting released. Suspicion is probably later summer that they'll probably be making the official announcements, but they've been doing all these leaks. So apparently the GR Yaris, they're developing an 8-speed automatic. So I wanted to ask you guys, I guess it's also another interesting question, both jumping back to the RS and to this GR. But which would you go for? Do you go for the GR with automatic, or do you go 6-speed? And do you go GT4 RS or do you go GT3? I feel like it's pretty easy answer in both scenarios, but I'm interested to hear what the youth of America say. And by America, I mean Canada. I'm just getting a little confused by Daniel's fucking horn and cowboy hat here.
It's not American, man. Let's let Peter start this one off. He's the real youth of the nation, like
That's right.
POD.
I like
The nation
it's dependent. Like I've always been like a big like GT3 guy. Like that's always been one of like my favorite cars, and by far probably one of my favorite cars I've ever been in. I've never been in a GT4, so it's kind of one of those things. Again, I feel like I would have to experience. This car just looks crazy beautiful, and by hearing everything, it sounds like the potential is there, and even possibly just competitive with a GT3. So it would be curious to see as to if the possibility was to ever actually get in one, as to what it felt like. But personally, for me at the moment, I would say I'm a GT3 guy. I always kind of have been. It's kind of been one of my, it's probably is still one of my favorite cars kind of thing. I think it's just beautiful and it sounds unreal when you're in it. And the experience is like nothing other. Like you're just getting thrown around inside a GT3. It's interesting. Or even a Porsche in general, like a Porsche racing car. It's just kind of it's an interesting experience. And on the automatic versus the manual, I think it's kind of preference. Like I know a lot of my friends would probably say manual. I know I'm probably a more I haven't driven, like I've driven manual cars, but I like haven't owned a manual car in like long time. Like my truck's automatic and things like that. So it just, for me, this moment, I feel like I probably would be more comfortable driving an automatic, just because I like, I don't know, I love paddle shifters. I just love the feel of it, the sound of the clicking of everything, and just, I think it's kind of a cool experience in itself. It's kind of the new age, but I think that's personally me. I honestly think if I talked to like other people like similar around my age, maybe you would get different answers, because I honestly think like the point of owning it in manual and just having that experience is something in itself. So that's kind of there. But I would just say I would almost feel more comfortable driving an automatic in that kind of car, just because there's so much car there that it's like you make a mess up that it's just like it's bigger in that sense. And that's kind of the way I see it. I know
about the Corolla, or are you talking about the GT4 or GT3?
I would say like in any sense, like in talking about like just more like it's like a fast car that's got like potential kind of thing. I think I would be more concerned about driving it if it was manual, and that's just me kind of thing. But
Daniel,
It's understood.
what are
Yeah.
you gonna do? You have an automatic, but I feel like your heart is old. You're old.
That, actually, like maybe I can touch on that for a moment, because like when I was growing up, when two of us were growing up, paddle shifts and sequential transmissions and dog boxes only existed in race cars. We didn't have them in street cars. We had stick shifts, and we had, what they call slush boxes, or, automatic transmissions. So, at that point in time, the idea of having paddles or having a sequential transmission was a fantasy for people. People wanted them. It was there was a desire to have them. And now that they are available, there is a desire to have what we had once. So, you know, I think that I enjoy both a lot. Living in Toronto, Daniel picks the automatic every single time. Traffic here is just too bad to deal with a stick shift.
What about
If you
hillbilly?
want to do stick shift here, then like, god damn, that is respect for your commitment. But I'm not doing it. If I lived outside of the city, then what I would have to do is test drive them both and decide, does the little kid in me who desires a race car with paddle shifts want that? Or does the older version of me want the more analog experience from your childhood? And I think, like Peter said, for me, that also would probably apply to any vehicle. With the GT4, I would go paddles without question, though. GT4 RS, sorry. And that's because I think it's most in line with the character of the vehicle. This, I don't think that it's necessarily a sticking point one way or the other. I think it comes down more to personal preference with the RS or the GR line.
As the elder of the group, I say you're all full of shit, and I'm going, man.
Nah.
But the more interesting question is, so of course I'm GT4 RS over GT3, I'm manual over automatic, and in both cars, I would say. But in the GT4 RS versus GT3 RS, I don't know. We'll see the new release of the GT3 RS. I think that the GT4 RS is going to be more exclusive. I think it'll be harder to get, and there's going to be very few allocations. Just judging by the 991.2, they ended up having more allocations locally of the GT3 RS than the GT3. So, you know, I have a feeling I'll probably default to the GT3 RS list because I'm not that special. But, you know, I'm special in other ways. And maybe I'll just end up with a GR Corolla to compensate.
Aim for the stars. Settle for a Yaris.
Well, you know, when you're talking about a puro sangue, I think will all work out in the wash. But this is also another interesting one that I just randomly saw. It was another release. I feel like this is most likely to be Euro only, although I did see it pop up on the Mercedes.com website. So it's possible that it might be in North America as well. But Motor1.com had reported that it debuted in Europe, this edition 55 G63. I think it's mostly a package trim, but it's to celebrate the 55 years of the AMG brand. And it has a lot of the things that I cheaped out on that I did not get. It kind of looks cool to me, but it's like an 18,000 euro edition for a birthday surprise. I do not believe that it actually is for any added performance or capability. But you know, obviously, who wants to be exclusive, get a G63. Who wants to be even more exclusive than exclusive, you get an edition 55 apparently. So
it
gets
with stickers on the door sills.
Yeah, exactly. What is this sticker, by the way? Is it like a tramp stamp?
I can't
Kind of looks like it, yeah.
Give us the next photo over. Maybe we can see better.
Yeah, is there
It's
something?
got, so there's the Night Package 2, which both are standard options. Fuel cap is chrome, so that's
Fancy.
And
wow.
I got one of those in my GT3 RS and GT2 RS, I think. And it has AMG branding, 22-inch forged wheels, also the same wheels that I had in mine, because I didn't cheap out on those. And then it's got the sticker. I'm not really clear as to exactly what is different here, other than mostly aesthetics. It's got
it literally says nothing.
Just
the package does not change the powertrain.
But look at that,
Yeah. Wow.
And look at that floor mat.
Brands do this all the time. Mini Cooper comes out with limited editions every single year. And what they do is they just offer different trim pieces on it to make it a little bit different. And historically, they charge a little bit more money. And they also historically sell out every single one that they make.
So guess who's putting his email together?
It's not just Mercedes. This is a pretty hilarious and blatant cash grab, though, before the G-Wagon goes fully electric.
Well, I am on the wait
They're
list.
going to do everything possible to make as much money off of this production line before it has to be fully retooled. So the G-Wagon
line is open
going to
again.
be milked. I'm already getting tired of seeing the G-Wagon. It's become like the Range Rover of the city. You know, I don't even see Range Rovers anymore. All I see are G-Wagons. It's like, what the hell happened all of a sudden? I thought you couldn't get one of these, but everyone seems to have one.
That's because you're in Toronto, downtown proper. And people get
concentration of wealth, I understand, but
exactly.
The argument is the same. It's just become a point where they've become semi-redundant. They once were special because of how rare they were. I used to see these less frequently than Ferraris or Lamborghinis. And then all of a sudden I see them every single day.
Yeah.
Like multiple times a day. Because I don't understand how that happened. The appeal suddenly just like exploded from nothing to from nobody but military and off-roaders wanting it and farmers wanting it to suddenly like everybody in Yorkville or Chelsea driving one. Like, so the G-Wagon, I'm over it.
Did you just censor yourself?
I did.
Wow, impressive.
It was an accident though.
Nice, well done. I want to also just touch on a little bit of watch news. Not much turnover in that fleet right now. We'll shift a little date just for a little Cartier. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to just finish off with this one. It is a world record. Why am I trying to record? I'm trying to share screen. And it looks like the innocent gun is having its effect.
This guy's trying to take my job away from me.
Oh.
That's Peter. This is the Bulgari Octofenissimo Ultra, which is now the ridiculously thin watch at 1.8 millimeters. It is barely even visible when you look at it from its side profile. And I think it's pretty damn respectable. I've had the Octofenissimo regular titanium on my wrist, and it is pretty cool. Not quite my style, but I can definitely respect it, and I would definitely not turn it away if it was offered to me, like for free. But this thing is nuts, and it's fully on display with all of its guts. And that was not an intended rhyme, but you know, my brother is Sukasa, so.
This thing's been eviscerated. Look at that.
Crazy.
What is going on though with this rotor
Is
here?
it a QR scanner? That's what I was just
that's
thinking.
exactly what I was thinking. Is it looks like a QR code almost.
Wonder if that thing's scannable. Let's see.
That's the thing. That's the only thing that I'm not so sure about.
Here, we're gonna find out. Is it scannable?
Design of pixelation, but otherwise it's pretty cool.
What's that next photo on a hairy hand?
It didn't work. I was trying to see if I could get it to, if it would actually QR scan.
This guy does have a weird wart that is a little bit.
Oh, geez, I didn't notice that.
This looks like it will definitely evolve into a shanker. We were just talking about Daniel's shankers earlier.
Sometimes I prefer to call them ribbed.
Ribbed?
Yeah, they're not shankers. It's just a nice ribbed texture.
They're ribbed, not for anyone's pleasure.
No, it's for displeasure.
Ribbed.
All right, that's a better photo right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing.
It looks great.
It looks like a computer almost somehow.
It's very digital, very almost like retro digital.
Right? That's kind of what I was
weird.
thinking. Almost get like a turntable vibe, kind of, in a sense.
Back to the Future, the watch. It's almost like my gray Casio, but
Yeah,
way
Yeah.
more nuts.
totally. This is the Bulgari Casio.
That's crazy seeing it on that from the side profile.
Yeah.
Do you guys like it? Like, do you actually like it, or are you just kind of like, whoa?
I'm like, whoa. I would
I
not.
think
I mean, I would wear it, but I would not buy it.
I think it's like really cool for what it is, but it's not like for like it's if it like dropped in your lap, like yeah, but like I don't like it wouldn't be for like I wouldn't like yeah, I would never spend the money to go buy something like that personally. But I think it's just really like it's something that's so cool, I think, in the sense of just like its achievement, like what it's doing. It's crazy how thin it is.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But it's really thin, so it's almost a moot point. And this is
so
all.
you'd have to take some design concessions in order to accomplish the goal that they were targeting. You know, in order to hit 1.8 millimeters, there's going to be significant concessions made to the design of the watch, which is why it looks the way it does and not like a traditional stacked second, minute, hour hand. It would make the watch too deep, right? Like you immediately cannot do that design without going well above that target of 1.8 millimeters. So the only way to do it is to have multiple dials. Having them exposed potentially makes it, I don't know, does that make it more difficult or easier? Probably more difficult if they want to make the skeletonized approach appealing in any way. But if I'm honest, I wouldn't wear that. Not once. You can have it. If I get one, Peter, you can have it.
Yeah. I could see Peter in it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it'd be like something you'd have on. It'd be like a conversation piece kind of thing, in the sense. It'd just be like a.
Who's having this conversation with you, Peter? Is this
I
you?
don't know. You never know. That's to be found out.
During COVID, it's just been me in the mirror. Wow. You like that?
So cool.
I love it too. Yeah. Well, that's two of us.
Yes, Daniel likes to have his own internal monologues external.
I'll pass it off to you, Steve, so we can wrap this
Yeah, let's wrap it.
the F up.
Let's wrap that up. So the moral of the story is Puro Sangue is the new Chinese Ferrari that perhaps I will be getting. And for those at Ferrari, please do not blackball me. It is pure Italian. It's just that I can't pronounce it well.
It's my bad influence. It's not, Steve's not responsible for his behavior.
It is the only potentially attainable car for me at this time as I await a GT4 RS allocation, which seems like a pretty far off, distant possibility. And we're not going for the Bulgari 1 of 10 thinnest watches. And I'm still waiting for Daniel to pull out his horn.
So what we've learned is that Ferrari is the most attainable vehicle.
That is very, very appropriate.
What we can take away from that is if you want a car right now, you have to buy a Ferrari. There's nothing else available.
Not even officially like out there really, but it's like you could put your name down. And that's basically what I did. Just like I did for the Corolla, and that's what I did for the Type R. And nothing is like anything official. Actually, probably the Type R is the most likely of all the things that, I mean, it's been in camo, but I am going down the tangent.
Gotta be in it to win it.
Let's end it there, boys. We're pulling out horns next time around. I expect that Daniel will have a horn for all three of us.
Many horns.
I mean, the actual thing that he's drinking out of. And he
No horns for you. No horns for you.
That's okay.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.